We'll go through some house rules, but this was primarily when we were doing the virtual sessions, but I guess we can just touch on a few things. We'll also just be giving an overview of our sector skills planning process, which includes some of the background information on the WSP-ATR process, as well as how we make use of the data that we receive through the application process. We'll also have our IT assisting us with an SDF registration demonstration. So Timothy from ICT will be doing that, and then we'll have a tea break, and then after that we'll continue with the demonstrations of the system and how you would then go about, I guess, applying for the mandatory grant or submitting your WSP-ATR data. And then after that, we'll have a question and answer session. But in some of the other sessions that we've had, we did allow for some answers and questions after each item, just so that if you have any burning questions, we don't wait until the end, because sometimes you end up forgetting some of the questions that you wanted to ask. So yeah, thank you very much, colleagues, for joining us today, and I really hope that we'll be able to have a meaningful and engaging session. I am not alone today. I am joined by my team from MICT CETA, and who act as the support system through this process. So if you guys could just get up and wave to everyone. I have Tia here, who's the WSP advisor. We have Spare. Oh, Spare, you're too cool. Spare, who's also a WSP-ATR advisor, as well as Gugu Masina. We also have the regional manager, Ucikizwa, but I'm not too sure if she is here today. Doesn't seem like she is. And then we have our IT department, Timothy and Noko, who will be assisting with the technical stuff when it comes to the system. So yeah, that's the order of today. I just want to make sure that everyone on Teams is able to hear me. And we sorted with that. Okay, great. Okay, so in terms of the first segment of today, it's just for us to, just like I said, to just provide a little bit of context and background in terms of why we undertaking this process and how valuable that information is for us as a team. I guess in terms of the presentation itself, we will be just going through the mandate of the CETA and what also obligates us to undertake this exercise. And then we'll just go through some key terms and processes for the WSP-ATR application process. And then we'll just go into a little bit of detail with regards to what we do with the information, and just touch on the organizing framework for occupations. And like I said, we'll then have a system demonstration from our IT team. So in terms of the MICT mandate, the MICT is established under the Skills Development Act to then facilitate skills development in the various subsectors that have been designated to us. As some of us may know, we operate within the advertising, film, and electronic media subsectors, electronics, information technology, and telecommunications. Part of the key mandate of the CETA is also to develop a sector skills plan for each of the designated subsectors. And like I said, part of the reason why we do collect WSP-ATR data is for us to just get that information or labor market intelligence on ways in which we can then address some skills shortages and, I guess, enforce workforce competencies, just so that we contribute towards building and supporting economic growth in the country. As we know, the economy can't grow without a well-capacitated labor force. And then in terms of the WSPATR report processes, we have a couple of key terms that we're trying to, define in the slide. In terms of our workplace skills plan, and again, colleagues, if you're familiar with this process, just be patient with me. Some of these sessions, or rather these sessions are also designed for people who are going through the WSPATR process for the first time, or who've just recently registered with the CETA as an SDF. So this is also for their benefit, so that they have a clear understanding of what the different processes that we undertake are, and what all the different terms we use actually refer to. So in terms of the workplace skills plan, it documents the skills needs of the company, and it outlines organizations, or how the organization will address their training and skills development requirements, and also support employers in recognition and implementation of various skills development programs. And then the annual training report is just a training report on the interventions that were delivered in the previous year by the employer. And then the pivotal training plan is how we then, as companies or employers within the sector, plan to address professional, vocational, technical, and academic learning programs in the workplace. And then the pivotal training report is what the annual training report is to the WSP, which is a pivotal training report, or rather a report on the pivotal training that has been delivered in the previous year. And then one of the things that we would know in implementing or undertaking the WSPATR application process is that we then have to ensure that each year all WSPATR applications are submitted by the 30th of April. This is also a mandated deadline, but I know that the application window did open in December, so that we can give our stakeholders sufficient time to be able to then apply for the mandatory grant. We do accept, extensions, but we also do discourage against applying for extensions, because it's at the discretion of the board or our accounting authority to then decide on whether or not they will grant that extension. Like I said, the system has been open since December. And yeah, so we assume that that's quite a sufficient number of months for us to be able to submit our application data. And then just by way of background in terms of the performance of our WSPATR submissions in the past 5 years, you can see that the majority of WSPATR submissions are received from Gauteng, and they account for 64% of the 1,950 submissions that we're receiving, and that was last year. So out of the 1,950, they were able to submit 1,245. The Western Cape as well as KZN are also quite big contributors with regards to WSPATRs, and that's obviously relative to the submissions in other provinces. And then the Northern Cape is the lowest submitting province, but I also think it just depends. I guess the Western Cape, KZN, as well as Gauteng are the economic centers of the country, and I guess the type of sectors that we also just represent as MICT, it would make sense that a lot more is happening in the economic centers of the country. And then in terms of who qualifies for the mandatory grant, so the Skills Development Levies Act says that organizations with a total payroll of 500,000 and above contribute 1% of the payroll in the form of skills development levies to the South African Revenue Services. And then these levies are paid back to the CETA if the company fulfills the requirements to receive the grant. And then the submission of the WSPATR allows the company to claim back 20% of their levies paid in the form of a mandatory grant in alignment with the CETA grant regulations. And then to qualify for the mandatory grant, to qualify for the mandatory grant, you have to meet the following criteria. You need to be registered with MICT in terms of the Skills Development Levies Act, and then you also need to be up to date. You have to be an up-to-date levy payer that is registered in terms of the Skills Development Levies Act, and then all levy payments need to be up to date at the time of the approval and for the reporting period. You need to employ an SDF, whether it's an external SDF or an internal SDF, and you need to ensure that all your submissions or WSPATR submissions are done by the end of April, which is what I alluded to in the previous slide, and that the annual training report of the previous reporting period has been submitted and implemented according to the prescriptions of the implementation by the CETA. And this is obviously if you have applied for a WSPATR in the previous year. And then in terms of what are some of the mandatory requirements in order for you to then go through the application process, and Tim will be going into a little bit more detail in terms of these mandatory requirements, in terms of where they fit in with regards to the system. But we do require an authorization form, and the authorization form does delegate different signatories in that authorization form. And then requirements for companies with less than 50 employees. I think the team can just go into that as well. Requirements for people with more than 50 or more employees. You need to upload minutes of the Skills Development Training Committee or related. We need the details and signature of employer and employee representatives that are required on condition the organization has 50 or more employees as per the WSP employee current profile. The employee representative refers to an active labor union in terms of the Labor Relations Act. And then the skills accord signed at NEDLAC demands that WSPATR are consulted with organized labor before approval by the employer and the CETA, just to make sure that this is a true reflection, or rather it encompasses everyone's needs or the employee needs within that particular organization. A request for an extension can only be applied for or before 30 April every year. And that's what I was saying, that this is also at the discretion of the accounting authority, and you just need to make sure that you do this before the end of the submission deadline. And that there must be a formal written communication presented on the company letterhead when you are then requesting that extension. So this is the mandatory requirements with regards to the WSPATR process. And then the next slide, couple of slides, will just be covering what we then do with the data that we receive through this process. So as I said, one of the key things with regards to the application data is that we're able to derive labor market intelligence for our sector skills plan. So you will know that the CETA has to produce a sector skills plan, which is basically a report that details what the strategic priorities of the CETA are, as well as what the key interventions that the CETA wants to then support in, whether it's for the next 5 years or on an annual basis. So that's where you would then find the information that goes into the details of what are the occupations in high demand and what are the hard-to-fill vacancies or critical and scarce skills with regards to the 5 different subsectors of MICT. So in terms of the WSPATR data specifically, we're able to, conduct some sort of employment profile and look at what the demographics of the sector are, particularly for the employees. So where we are requesting information on the number of employees that you have and where exactly they're situated in the country, their ages and racial background and so forth, all of that information is really important for us because we use it as a scoping exercise or scoping mechanism where even in terms of our discretionary grant funding, we're able to say, okay, if there's 1,000 youth in the sector and only 10 people over the age of 40, we know that a lot of our priorities should be going towards assisting people that are under the age of 35. Even in terms of geographic distribution, we're able to say these are the provinces where most of our employees actually reside, and therefore, in terms of our DG allocations, we should be allocating according to that distribution. That's just an example of some of what we're able to do with the employment profile that we get from the data. And then we're also able to identify skills gaps. You would know that one of the things that are detailed, or one of the sections in the WSP-ATR form, is to highlight the scarce and critical skills. So then we're able to then assess what the occupations in high demand are, as well as what the skills gaps are. And like I said, in terms of our then allocations and our strategic priorities as a SETA, that would then be derived from those forms. We're also able to forecast future skills. So based on the trend analysis that we would then do, so seeing how the SETA has been performing over the past 5 years and how the employee demographics are changing over time, we would then be able to say, okay, perhaps this is what we should be anticipating. This is the kind of growth that we can anticipate with regards to a particular occupation, and what are some of the emerging occupations. Then monitor training and development efforts. Obviously, through some of the information that we receive through our annual training reports, we're able to say, okay, our employers are training more towards this occupation. Then what does that mean in terms of what we need to prioritize as a SETA? So yeah, that's what we're also able to do with the data. We're also able to engage stakeholders. So based on the results, or based on the data that we would have received by the 30th of April, once we've drafted the first draft sector skills plan, we're able to then go to our employers and say, this is the information that we're receiving through the WSP-ATR process. Is this really a true reflection of the sector? Especially because we know that we're only receiving 1,950 submissions, and when there could possibly be 30,000 or more employers or companies in the MICT sector. So it's really important for us to then show them some of the information that we're receiving through this process, just to make sure that we really do satisfy the needs of everyone, even those that may not be submitting WSP-ATRs. And then, like I said, we're able to then develop targeted training programs. Like I said, a very, very key thing for us in terms of this process is for us to then be able to say, this is what the SETA is prioritizing for the next 5 years or for the next year. And we're also able to, if you are familiar with the government or rather the SETA planning process, we have to develop a strategic plan and an annual performance plan. And key to that strategic plan is making sure that the findings of our sector skills plan, the findings of our WSP-ATR data analysis are finding expression in our strategy, and they're finding expression in our annual performance plan in terms of our targets as a SETA and the output indicators that we want to achieve. And then just at high level, the process which we use to develop the sector skills plan itself, we have to firstly review the current SSP in whatever year that we're in. We need to review just to make sure that there aren't any gaps or certain things that we may have missed in the previous iteration of the document. We then, once we've identified those gaps, it will then inform, I guess, the project plan, or how we want to then, what we want to focus on when we are updating or developing the sector skills plan. We have to conduct desktop research Part of that desktop research would be a literature review, so looking at secondary data in the form of maybe Stats SA reports or any other industry reports that might be of relevance and just give us a better picture in terms of, I guess, the economic performance of all the 5 subsectors within MICT and any other information that might be of assistance for us as we're planning for the sector. And then in terms of the data analysis, this happens primarily using the WUSPATR data. And like I said, that's where we get most of the information on our employees in terms of the composition of the sector. And then once we've done our desktop research, we do field research as a way of triangulating some of the findings that are coming across the desktop research. So we'll do in-depth interviews, whether it's one-on-one interviews, or we'll distribute some sort of survey, again, just to make sure that we're getting enough information, which will then inform our planning. After we've drafted the first draft SSP, we would then but we would then, like I said, go back to the sector and say, this is what we're finding, and then we'll do that through focus group sessions. And once we've gotten feedback, we'll then consolidate those findings and then send through our sector skills plan, the final draft, which will then trigger the process of then updating our strategic plan and annual performance plan and so forth. And then in terms of the organizing framework for occupations, here we know that part of the WSPATR process, one of the key things is the use of the organizing framework for occupations. You would know that when we are reporting on positions or jobs in the WSPATR, we do that using the OFO. So for those of us who may not know, the OFO is a classification system that is used to standardize the identification and organization of jobs within different industries, sectors, and types of work. And so the OFO, like I said, is a really important tool in compiling the WSPATR data, because you would know that for one occupation, different companies may call that same job position different things. But then we obviously can't receive data like that when we're conducting our analysis. We need to make sure that there's a standardized approach in what we name things and so forth, irregardless of what industry you're in and what sector you represent. There's just certain occupations that are similar in job that we then use, or that are then standardized through the use of the OFO. And so, like I said, the OFO, since it's a primary reporting tool for occupations for us, it means that it's a primary reporting tool for the Department of Higher Education and Training, because that's who we also report to. So they use that information to identify and report and monitor skills demand. Like I said, when it comes to the identification of occupations in high demand, we primarily use the OFO to report that through the WSPATR data. So occupations in the OFO represent several jobs, and I think one of the slides will cover what the intersection is between, or what the difference is between a job and an occupation. But under an occupation, you'll also find different specializations. So the more we just look at the OFO tool and just play around with it, the more comfortable we actually get with some of these terms and so forth. So at the moment, we are still using the 2021 version of the OFO for the 25-26 submission for the WSP ATRs. But ordinarily, the framework is updated and published every 2 years, but the most latest version and up-to-date version at this point is the 2021 version. And then, like I said, in terms of some of the key terminology and what really confuses people when they are completing information, using the OFO is the distinction between a job and an occupation. So in terms of a job is a set of tasks and duties that are carried out by one person for an employer, and it sets out the details of tasks, duties, and standards of performance to be achieved. And then in terms of an occupation is a set of jobs and tasks that are characterized by a high degree of similarity. And so an occupation is made up of different jobs. One of the examples that I like to give is that in terms of me being a researcher, or rather maybe a research manager, I have different jobs within my designation as a research manager or researcher. So one of the tasks that I would need to fulfill is managing the data analysis process or data analysis. We need to do report writing. Today I'm presenting, so one of my jobs is presenting, and what else? Maybe planning. So all of these different tasks and duties make me a research manager or make my occupation a research manager. So that's how we then should be looking at how we then group and distinguish between jobs and occupations. And I'm sure if you were to go to any other company, even if they call a research manager something different, I know certain SETAs would call research managers specialists. But if you were to look at the jobs that we do between that SETA and myself, you would find that we're doing the exact same thing. So the important thing is the occupation, not necessarily what we name it. And then in terms of the organizing framework for occupations, this is just the major groups that we use, and you'll see it quite a lot when it comes to our reporting, as well as, I guess, the WSPATR submission. But in terms of the major OFO group, there are 8, categories within the major OFOs, ranging from managers all the way to elementary workers. So depending on the skills level and the duties and tasks and so forth of an individual, you would then have to categorize that person by major OFO group. And like I said, a lot of mistakes that a lot of people do, they would categorize the person in a position and not necessarily the position itself. We also just need to be careful of that when we are then reporting. Again, this is just an example of how we then, disaggregate or is it delineate or whatever the case may be, and how the OFO is structured. So we are using the example of a software developer because we know that that is quite a popular occupation in the MICT space. So if we have a software developer, that is the occupation itself. I'm starting from the bottom. We would classify that in the OFO as the occupation, and you will see that in terms of the OFO code, it starts with a 2, and that will always give you some sort of, it's a trick to say, okay, when it starts with a 2, normally any occupation that starts with a 2 automatically falls into the professionals major OFO group. And then the unit group would be, so all software developers, whether we call them software designers or whatever the case may be, they would then fall under the unit group 2512. And then beyond the unit group, we also have a minor group. So it's another classification system or category, rather, in the OFO, where software and application developers and analysts all belong under. And then there's a sub-major group, which is information and communications technology professionals. So all information and communications technology professionals would belong under the sub-major group. And then we have 2, which is the major OFO group, where you would then categorize all professionals in the labor market under. And then I think that's the end of my presentation. I hope you found the information very useful, and it contextualized some of the terms and some of the uses, or rather, some of the things that we make use of the WSP-ATR data. And then I think, should we take questions or hand over to you, Tim, and then maybe we can take questions after for the SDF registration? If you are ready. Do we have any questions, colleagues, for this round? After Tim is done, we can also have another round. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, Tim. Thank you, colleagues.
Good morning, colleagues. Morning, colleagues. Am I audible on Teams? Okay, thank you. Should I come closer? No, I will adjust it myself. No, Okay. And is it fine in here, in the room? Thank you, thank you. Sorry for the delay. Can you see my screen? Okay. Good morning again, colleagues. My name is Timothy Chweni. I'm part of MICT CETA ICT team. I'm going to present to you the LMS system for WSP applications and also WSP application including SDF registration, but the first part, it will be the SDF registration, which is where we are going to start and show you how you register yourself and gets approved to be able to submit the WSP application. Okay. Firstly, I will show you how to register as a new SDF, and also if you are an existing SDF, how can you continue on the system. Okay. How to access our system? Firstly, you need to go to our website, mictceta.org.za. On the far top right, there is a stakeholder login where you select LMS login here. Once you select LMS login, it takes you to our system login page, which is this one. As a new SDF, you firstly need to start by registering your profile. You need to click register, and you provide your information here, where you provide your first name, last name, email, and ID or passport. Okay? Then you select the role here. You need to select SDF role, and you create your own password. You agree to MICT CETA policy, and you also click this part of I'm not a robot. Again, we do understand that you have multiple roles. You may sometimes work with learning program department, or you are an assessor, moderator. So what you need to do when it is like that, you continue with your existing information. You don't need to change your names, you don't need to change your email. What you need to do, you need to continue with your existing information so that you can have one role, one profile that manages multiple roles, okay? Lastly, when you register here, it is important to use your personal email because the reason is if you are an SDF, you can submit for multiple companies, okay? If also you are a learning program facilitator, you still can submit for multiple companies. So let's take it as if Now you no longer have a good relationship with company A, but you still want to work with company B, C, D. So company A will send a letter to MICT SETA and ask that we delink you from we delink the SDF from viewing their information. They have appointed a new SDF. So meaning that if you register your profile mostly using company email, when the relationship gets sour, they close their email, you can't manage the information of other companies. Okay? Also, okay, I'm muted on Teams, so it will make an echo if I unmute here and also there. Yes, I have muted my laptop. Yes, it is muted. It is fine. Okay, let me start from scratch, colleagues, so that I can give those which are online the information again. Where I have started. So, firstly, I'm sorry for those who were not able to hear me. We said we start from our website where you need to go to mictceta.org.za. That's where you need to access our system. After going to our website, you need to go to stakeholder registration, stakeholder login, Then you click LMS login. Once you click LMS login, it will take you to this screen where you need to log in. If you have the credentials, you can log in. If you are a new SDF, what you need to do, you click register. Okay? Once you click register, you need to provide your information here, first name, last name, email, ID type also, and also select your role here. Once you select your role, the role will be SDF. Then you enter your password and also re-enter the same password. You agree to MICT SETA policy. You also do the I'm not a robot part, and you click register. When I understand that you have multiple roles, you work with different departments, you are sometimes assessors and moderators, others you are learning program facilitators. Please, on the way the system is built, it gives you a way to manage multiple roles with one login. How you manage your multiple roles, you don't need to change your information when you create your roles. So you need to continue entering the same name, same email that we are using, so that the system will be easy to identify that you have a role and, in the system, and it will add a new role to the same account. Okay? So if you are a learning program facilitator and you now need SDF role, you just put in your information the way it is, and you select the role that you want to use, which is SDF. Then it will create that, it will add the role of SDF under that account. Okay? Then you go to the login page. The last part is, it is important to use your personal email, because we understand that you work with multiple companies under SDF and also under learning program. And some of you are assessors and moderators, meaning that if you are an assessor or moderator, you can also assess and moderate for different training providers, meaning that it is important to have an account on your name with your personal information. If you are an SDF, you are working with multiple companies, you submit WSP for multiple companies. If company A, the relationship between you and company A is no longer good, then company A will send a letter to MICT SETA with the link you as an SDF from that company. And also, if you are a learning program facilitator, you are submitting for company A, B, C. If you don't longer work with company C, the company will send the information, the letter to MICT SETA with the link you. Same as assessors and moderators. If you are an assessor or moderator, also you are working with multiple training providers, you have an option to accept or reject the request from the training provider on the system. Okay? So under SSP, if the company no longer works with you, they will send a letter to us and we delink you from the company, and you will continue working with the remaining companies that you have. Then, now we are going to log in. Let me just refresh my page. Logging in, I will log in as an SDF. Once you log in, if you can see my screen here, I have one email. Once I log in, it indicates my roles. The first role, Learning Program Facilitator. The second role is SDF. So I will choose SDF because currently I'm working on SDF, Skills Development Facilitator. Once I select SDF, this is my landing page where I see the dashboard, the announcement at the below left, and also my companies that I have submitted for on the below right corner. Okay. On our top left, this is our menu. Currently we are on dashboard, and the second one, it is profile. This is where you manage your personal information and also contact information and also SDF information. You can also change your password here. And second menu, navigation, which is SDF documents. Under SDF documents, colleagues, it's where we upload documents that can assist you, whether on the system or just policies to guide you. So this site is where we upload documents. You can come here and download, whether it's a document to upload back into the system, whether it's a policy or any information that we need to share with you. Then we move to SDF registration. Under SDF registration, we have multiple financial years. The active one, you will always see it with a different color. This is where we do our SDF registration. Now we move to WSP application. Also, we have financial years. The different financial year, you will see it. It has a different color from the others. Then we have secondary SDF tab. Under secondary SDF, that's where you add your secondary SDF to the specific company. I'll show you how it works, but please know that a secondary SDF cannot submit an application. They can only assist you to put the information on the application, but they won't be able to click submit button. Okay? Then we have queries here at the below. Under queries, this is where you log your queries with us if you wish to communicate with us. So you will have open queries, you'll have assigned queries, and also closed queries, meaning that we have closed your ticket. How do you do that? On our top right corner here, we have these icons, which is a sign out icon. And also we have the second icon where it is for help. When you click ask and you select the department here, after selecting the department, you will be able to put your title and the question that you wish to ask on this box. Let me just show you how it works. You can type in your information here and click ask. Then whatever that you have asked here, it comes under queries, this page, my open queries. Then when we respond, the communication will be here, and you will see who was assigned to that query, and also when you are satisfied, when it is closed, you will be able to see it when it is closed. Then we have also two icons here, human icons here. Or before we move to the human icons, we also have view user manual. The user manual, how it works, if you logged in as an SDF and you click user manual, it will give you the SDF user manual. It won't give you the learning program facilitator information user manual. But if you log in with that role that you logged in with, when you click user manual, it gives you the information according to the role that you have logged in with. Okay, so I will click view user manual. Now it will identify that I'm an SDF. It now gives me the SDF registration, WSP submission. So these are the videos that we have that can assist you. What you need to do, they are very short, 1 minute 44 seconds. We can show you how you do your personal details, linking a company. All our videos, they are very short. This one is 1 minute. So meaning that after this, you can also refer to the videos if you need more clarities. Under here, we show you the SDF submission, how you upload all these things that you do until the downloading. When you download the submission letter, we show you all the processes here under user manual. Okay, it's when you click user manual under this question mark here icon. There is a user manual. Now we have this human icon thing here. This is where you switch your roles. Right now we're logged in as an SDF. If you wish to switch your role from SDF to assessors to learning program facilitators, you don't need to log out and log in again. You can switch your role and move to a learning program facilitator like this. Now I'm in the learning program facilitator. The information now it talks about vetting, appeal, SLAs, learning program. And if you want to go back into SDF role, you just click here, you come back to the SDF site. Okay? Then also here on this image, that's where you manage your profile, you reset your password. You also click help, which it takes you to the user manuals. Okay? That's how our interface looks like. Then we are going to start with SDF registration. Any question in terms of how you register on the system and log in? Okay.
With regards to the email, can you have multiple user profiles for one ID number? Let's say you've registered with a company, you've already used their email address, and now you move companies and you've only done their submissions, so you no longer have access to that email address. You go to a new company. Can you create another profile with another email address?
No. Your company now, your ID, it is linked to that email. What you need to do, you just need to call us so that we can update your email to the current one. That's why I was advising you to use your personal email than company emails, because you are an individual that works with multiple companies. So we understand that if the relationship got sour, you need to continue working with other companies and they shut down their email, then means that you lose your login credentials. So if you use your personal email, they will just delink, they call MICT SETA, we delink you from that company information, and you still continue with the remaining companies. Thank you. All right, now we move to SDF registration. On the SDF registration, colleagues, this is where we are. You click here under SDF registration, go to the current financial year, you click it. Once you are on the current financial year, it will auto-populate the information of your personal from the profile side here into your SDF registration. What you need to do, you just check the information. If it is correct, you just click Save Details. Once you save details, it takes you to the second tab where it is SDF details, and you just verify the information or update the information. If you wish to update, you click Save. You move to Link Company. Under Link Company, colleagues, if you were working with 3 or 4 companies in the previous year, they will appear here at the top, like this one, which I was working with in the previous financial year. What you need to do, you need to click Confirm if you are still working with that company. When you click Confirm, it goes to the approved stage automatically for this financial year, meaning that you don't have to make a new application as an SDF to link yourself to that company. Okay? Then, if you have new companies that you wish to work with, what you need to do, you just need to click here where it says Link a New Company. Once you click here, you provide the SDL number and click Search. The information will appear for that SDL number. If the SDL number is not correct, that's how it gives you the pop-up message. But if the SDL number is correct, it will bring the company information, name, trading name, and you click Confirm button here, the blue button. Once you click Confirm, the company information will appear here at the bottom, like this ones. Okay? But when you are done with the submission for that specific company, it will change the status here to submitted, and the color will change to amber. Okay? So once your company is here, listed here, you need to click Edit button. You click Edit button, then you scroll down. Now, once you click Edit button, now it appears here that you are working on this company. You will start from step 1 until step 6. Step 4 and step 5 is not required. You can still jump step 4 and step 5 because here it's where you add subsidiary companies. If you don't have subsidiary companies, you just jump. Here it's where you add your secondary SDF. If you don't have a secondary SDF, you can also jump. Okay? So you start at submission detail. On the submission detail, what you need to do, you just need to provide this information accordingly. So we have few questions here that we are asking, then you need to answer the information accordingly. So it indicates the sector that you are working in or industry. You need to select according to MICT sectors here. We have advertising, and we have also electronics. We also have film and electronics media. We have information technology. We have telecommunication down here. So this is what you need to select. Moving from this one, we ask another question. Are you a consultant acting for the employer? Then you need to indicate yes or no. Okay? Indicate method of appointment. You also need to indicate the method of appointment. select your SDF function from the list. Then you also select your SDF function. When you are done, you click Save. Once you click Save, it takes you to number 2. You go to number 2, which that's where you are going to put the authorizer information. Currently, my authorizer information, it is Mr. Mafuyo, where now you need to indicate the authorizer. You put the authorizer information, first name, last name, gender, contact details, and also email address, and the ID or passport number here at the below. You click Save. When you click Save, automatically the system sends your authorizer that SDF Timothy he's linking himself to your company. Please sign the authorization letter for Timothy. Then they are quickly and able to see that you are doing their application. So when you are going to send an authorization letter to that authorizer, they are going to be able to see it. Okay, now you move to banking details. Under banking details, you provide the type of bank here. You select your bank, you select the bank holder, you enter the bank holder, and also you select whether it is savings, check, or business account. Also, you enter your account number, you upload the bank letter, you select the bank letter and upload it here. Please note, if you don't find your bank here, you can contact us so that we can add that specific bank for you, okay? We are not limited to this one. Okay. You click Save, then you move to subsidiary companies. Subsidiary companies. Remember, I told you that under subsidiary company is not a it is not required, so you can jump here. But if you have a subsidiary company, what you need to do, you just provide the SDL and add that subsidiary company. Okay. Also, in terms of secondary SDF, with the secondary SDF, you just come in here, you add your secondary SDF. Currently, I have my secondary SDF that was added. You can add your secondary SDF from name, last name, email, cell phone, and ID or passport, and you provide the information here. You add them. Once you add them, they appear here at the below. Then that's where you indicate your secondary SDF. Remember that I told you that a secondary SDF is not able to submit an application. What they can do, they can only assist you to upload information on the application. At the later stage, you need to click Submit, okay? And the secondary SDF, if you add a secondary SDF for this company here, this secondary SDF won't be able to manage the information for this company and these other companies that are here. They will only see the information for that specific company that you linked them with, okay? Then we move to the submission. Under submission, you need to download an appointment letter. Here, you click download. Then you save your letter. So this is a template that we are providing to you. Still opening. This is a Word template. So you need to provide information on this template. You need to provide your company letter header. You provide the dates, your addresses here. You leave this information the way it is. You leave this one. You also leave the heading. Now you come to the content of the letter. Under the content of the letter, as it reads, this serves to confirm that we have appointed Mr. John Doe. You remove Mr. John Doe to the correct name of the SDF as the primary skills development facilitator or secondary skills development facilitator for our company XYZ. You put the correct name of the company here with immediate effect. Okay, now our company levy number is, you put your L number here, the company L number here. Now at the below, this is where you provide the SDF information: name, ID, office number, cell phone number, email address. Then the authorizer needs to sign here, someone senior in the company, whether director or HR executive manager. They will sign the letter. After signing, this letter needs to be converted to PDF, then gets uploaded to MICT SETA system. Okay? Once you have converted the letter into a PDF, you click upload here. And you select your letter. Currently, let me put this dummy ID letter here. Then I've uploaded my dummy ID letter. I can click view. This is my dummy ID letter. Then if you find out that this letter is incorrect, you uploaded a wrong document, you can see here we don't have a delete function on the system. What you need to do, you need to re-upload. It will override the first letter or the first document. Okay? Then how you override it? You just re-upload the correct one. I'll upload this bank letter and click upload. It overrides the first one. When you click view, now it's no longer ID, it is a bank. Okay? Now we move to submit button. Then as an SDF, you click submit button, then your SDF registration will be submitted to MICT SETA with all the companies that you have linked yourself. Remember, the first part is if you're still working with the companies that you were working with them in the previous years, you just click confirm. Let me show you again. You need to click confirm. Let's say you are working with 5 companies last year. They will appear here. You need to click confirm. But if there is a new company that you want to add, you click link a new company. You provide the SDL number and you continue with the application of a new company. Okay? Then you submit that information. Any questions from here for SDF registration? There is a hand outside.
So just to confirm, if I'm submitting the CETA reports for an existing client, do I have to, and I am registered already, do I have to upload a new authorization letter and a new bank letter for the same client for this year's submission?
If you clicked confirm, automatically your application, remember, it goes to approved. Then once it goes to approved, it also creates a option for you under WSP application. You are now have that, you have an open application for that specific company that you will continue submitting the information. But if internally they say, please upload a 3 months bank letter and everything, you still have an option to upload those information under WSP application. I'll show you under WSP application how it works. But for now, you are still linking yourself as an SDF and saying, I'm an SDF, I'm linking myself to the company. We need to approve that. We approve it once. Then in the coming financial year, you just need to confirm going forward. Okay? Thank you.
Can I also add Timothy?
Yes, you can add, sir.
Yeah. And then for new SDFs that are submitting for the first time, for the companies or companies that are submitting for the first time, they must upload banking letters not more than 3 months.
Okay. Any hand? There is a hand here.
Oh, hi. I had to amend our banking details as SDF. I had to amend our banking details midway through period after submission was done. It went back and forth with, and I eventually spoke to an applications engineer because once I uploaded the updated details, it just wouldn't show in the application itself. So I was just wondering whether that has now been looked at, whether it's been rectified, because yeah, it took me a couple of weeks to get it sorted.
Okay. When you, the company information, even if you have submitted your application, the company information, like bank letters, it is always there opened, because we know that you can submit your WSP now, and then after 3 months, while we are still evaluating, then the company wishes to change the banking detail. So we make sure that the company details information to upload letters, it is always opened. And also, again, in addition to that, the application, the WSP application, it is still open until the final date. So let me go to dashboard. So what is happening is, if you submit your application today and you wish to update your application before the closing date, you can update your application and print the new authorization, let everything get signed again, upload it and submit. So until the closing date. But that part, it is the part for WSP application. We are still going to the WSP. We are now at the SDF. Yes, I'm still going to show you how you do your WSP.
Okay,
Thank you.
Hi, but I wanted to know, some of our companies were not approved, on time for some reason. There were some technical issues and some information was missing. However, that has been supplied and provisionally approved. In the system, those stakeholders, those companies are still provisionally approved. Now we are in March. Soon we have to submit new WSP. Definitely that will have nothing to do with the previous one, but it mandatory grant payment, will it be calculated for whole year? Because for some reason those companies were not approved earlier. Now definitely it will be done now anytime, I believe. So that is one question. Then on a system, I might have missed, forgive me if I have missed that one, but as previously, the system was a bit different, whereby we could have seen the payment of mandatory grant specifically and downloaded the report, database report in terms of the payment, on each quarter. Is that facility still available on the system whereby we can see ourselves that quarterly I've been paid and this much has been paid and calculate, so I don't need to run to the finance and SSP office in regard to inquiring the payment? Thank you.
Okay, I'll take question number 1. My name is Percy Hlongwane from the SSP division. And then question number 2 will be taken by Timothy. I think you'll be able to answer question number 2. Okay, for the provisionally approved companies, they will be approved as soon as possible. We have to indicate that to our managers, to approve those applications. And then when it comes to the MESO grants payments, you won't be affected. They will be paid for all the quarters, provided that your levies are up to date for all those quarters. Okay, can you hear? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Okay, it's fine. I was saying the companies that are on provisionally approved, they will be approved as soon as possible before our financial year ends on the 31st of March. So when it comes to the payment of the MESO grants, the quarterly payments, you will receive them provided that your levies are up to date. But I know that there are some issues with the MESO grants and levies from the HET, but that information can be communicated by finance. You can send communication to us, and then they will indicate when they can be paid after the WSP has been approved. So I provided the email addresses that you can use for the WSP or HR supports on the chat. You can just use those email addresses. Then we forward it to finance to indicate when can they make the payment when it has been approved on the system, the WSP or ACR.
And just to add on that, remember, maybe some of the reason that we still have companies that are still on pre-approved, it's delays that are caused by the SDF not attending to our queries that are raised. So we are still having like a couple of submissions that are still going to be on provisionally approved once the SDFs have attended to the raised queries. But it must also be noted that as the MICT SITA, we are being lenient because we've been sending follow-ups to the SDF to say, hey, we have these queries that are raised, please attend to those. And up to date, some of those queries are still outstanding. So you are encouraged to go to your profiles and check if all your queries have been sorted and you have resubmitted your WSP before we close the submission period for the previous financial year. And also note that we are in the process of preparing letters that are going to be sent out as a reminder and as a final reminder to say that should we have not attended to those queries, you have to forfeit your mandatory grant payments. Thank you.
Tim, there was a question on the finance on the system.
Okay. The finance part, we are going to display your information in terms of the levies and the historical payments. The functionalities is there because the finance team, they use the same functionality to load the levy files and do the payments on the system. What we need to do is just to display the information for you so that you can see. Okay, there was another hand. Okay.
I have a question with regards to the SDL number. When you're in the process of transferring from one seater to the other, will the company main SDL number not work on the system to register?
With the SDL number,
When you're in the process of transferring from one seater to this one now, we in that process, will our main SDL number not work when registering now on the system?
Okay, on that one, if you have done the inter-CISA transfer with, I'm not sure which CISA you did it with, you have to provide that approved ISC01 form, and then on our side, and also the EMP SA from the South African Revenue Services. And then on our side, we can create a TIN number for the company to submit the workplace skills plan. You can use the email addresses that are provided on the chat. You forward those documents, and then we'll provide a TIN number for you to submit. Because it definitely won't appear on the system, on our system.
have you noted that? Yes, they will provide a TIN number, a temporary number for you once you submit the information. Yes. Any hands from Teams? If we have any question. Is it possible to unmute them, or we can read the questions? Okay, you can unmute them one by one.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm an existing SDF. I'm basically new, but we completed the registration process with a letter from the company and everything last year, around July, August. If I go onto the website and I go through the registration process you've just explained, if I go to the SDF registration tab and I go to April 2025, the details there, my personal details, is correct, and but there's no company linked to that role. So if I go to SDF details, it says the company's name, but if I go to link companies, there's no name. Is that correct? Is that the way it should be?
Let me show you.
Under the SDF details, I've got the name of the company, what is the name of the employer. That's the same person that I am, the same entity that I am SDF for. So if I go to link companies, there's no company there.
Okay. Under SDF details, it is your personal details. Ne? This is your personal details, SDF details.
Yes.
If you can see the information, this is it continue with your personal details. Under link company, if you have a company that you were working with in the previous financial year, you just need to click confirm. If you have a new company, you just need to click here, add new company. You add the SDL number. If the company does not appear here, meaning that maybe your company is not registered with our SETA, then it means you need to send a letter to our SSP department where they can check your company if it's under SETA number 12, which is MICT SETA. And also if you are doing...
If I can just quickly say that the company is registered. There was another SDF that left the employer of the company, and I took over from her. So the company is registered with a SETA. What I'm trying to determine is if the company I'm working for that I'm also the SDF of, their name appears under the SDF tab, should the same name also appear under the link company?
Yes.
There is nothing there.
Okay.
That's what
Let,
I'm worried about.
quick information. Because the company had the previous SDF,
Yes.
then your company needs to send a letter to MICT CETA saying that we are no longer working. Yes, we just give the process saying that we are no longer working with SDF A, we are now working with SDF B. SDF B, so that as MICT CETA we can be able to link SDF B, the SDF B needs to register the profile first, so that when we start to go to the system and linking SDF, we must be able to find that SDF. Then if, for example, we did not action that in time, you can contact the department so that advisors or administrators, they can quickly delink the previous SDF and link a new SDF for you. Then you will be able to see that company. So meaning that two SDFs, they cannot work with the same company, but one SDF and a secondary SDF, they can see the information of one company.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, we followed that exact process, the company that sent in this. So I'll contact the department. What is the best way to contact the department to rectify this?
Just send a chat also here so that we can quickly trace you,
And what do you want in the chat?
including your email.
Email.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there's any issues with the portal, and I normally send screen grabs via email, am I allowed to still do that this year, or do I need to go through that help desk?
You can send via email for quick, so that we can quickly forward it to the specific person.
Thank you.
Yes. Are we done with the questions? Okay. If we are done with the questions for SDF registration, I think it is time.
I want to add Sumuzu. Can everyone that is not approved on the 24, 25 financial, because it can happen that maybe they did not submit, they just, as it said, they just completed the form. Then on our side, we find this, we don't find the SDF registration because it's not submitted. Can they submit on this new window, Timothy? Or they have to submit on the previous window, and then we approve them on that 24, 25 financial year, or they must submit on the 25, 26 financial year? Can you advise on that?
New SDFs.
New SDFs.
They must submit on this current window.
Okay, so that means everyone that is not registered, then maybe has completed the application on the 24, 25 financial year. We ask them to submit the application on the 25, 26 window, the SDF registration for 25, 26 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. I think it is time for tea break. How long does it take? It takes 15 minutes, colleagues. We are going to come back for a WSP application, meaning that we are going to take more questions, including WSP applications and also SDF registration, because some of the questions, they come from the WSP side. Okay? Thank you, colleagues.
Sector, I think is the company one where like under the for telecommunication, fiber network.
Yeah, they select Takamoka.
You can select multiple.
You can select multiple. Tell them that they can select multiple. Okay. Let's put my mic off. It is. You're muted. That's right. Muted. Okay, it's fine. You just. Okay. Am I audible? There is an echo.
Yes, Gerard, you can go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Davis.
My question is for WSP submissions. Is it okay? Or are we still on SDF registration?
No, Gerard, you can go ahead.
Okay, it sounds a bit echoing, but it's fine. So I'm a new SDF, and the company I'm representing, which is only to apply for a discretionary grant for an intern graduate. So, what are the steps to follow that during the WSP submission? Do you fill in all the 1 to 7 steps, or is it only some steps you have to fill in? And my second question is, on the SDF reference manual, right? I think it's page 27, where it talks about all actual and planned costs. How does an organization, or how do I submit the organization's employing skills or development facilitate the cost involved in that? How would I put that on the WSP?
Good day, colleagues. Okay, I would say question number one for the steps of the WSP and also the DG one. So I'll start with the WSP. So the steps that are being used there for the WSP, they will be demonstrated here. For new companies, they have to submit form number 1 to 7, and then leave form number 8 and leave a form that are reporting the ACR and the PTR, and then do the survey and the surveys form number 12 and 13. All companies that have done the WSP on the previous financial year must do all the forms. Timothy will be demonstrating on how to do to report using the system. And then when it comes to the DG, they usually, because we're from the SSP division, the DG it falls under the LPD division, but what they usually do, they advertise for the DG application, then there's a process that should be followed, and there are requirements that are there. So I advise you to always check our website to see if there's a DG window being open, and then the requirements for it.
Okay, colleagues, let's start with the WSP application so that all following questions, we can answer them. Sometimes when we demo, we can answer your question, okay? I'll come back to the system, go to the login page. Then click verify, then log in. I'll select my SDF role. This is my landing page. Now I'm doing WSP application. So when you do WSP application, it means you are approved now under SDF registration. Now you go for WSP, an ATR application. You go to the active window. Once you arrive on the active window, all the companies that you are approved for, automatically they appear here. You click start, you open your WSP. Once you open your WSP, automatically for that company which you have linked yourself with, the company information comes here. For example, if you have linked yourself to a company last year, September, or anytime, then now you wish to update the information of the company under WSP, or you have linked yourself to a company now this year, you are confirming that you are continuing working with the company. When you come to the WSP part, that's where you will find the company information, okay? If there is an information that you need to update, that's where you can update under the WSP if you have already confirmed your company on the other side, okay? You come to the company details, you can check the information and you click save. You go to the authorization details, check the information, you click save. Banking details, remember we talked about the banking details if it needs to be changed or you are continuing with the same information. If you have new banking details, that's where you need to update the information of the company banking details here. Remember, you have provided the banking information during your SDF application where you link yourself to a company. Let's say you have linked yourself and you were approved in the previous financial year. Now you are applying in this current financial year and you wish to update the company banking details. That's where you come and update, okay? Subsidiary companies, if you have subsidiary companies, they will be listed here. You can also add your subsidiary company here under the WSP application, meaning that the information that you provided during SDF registration, when you link yourself to a company, after being approved, now you are submitting WSP application, you have an opportunity to update your information, okay? And remember, colleagues, with this one here, after you have submitted your application and the window has closed for WSP, but this company details information, it is still editable, okay? When they send a query back to you, when they say, please fix ABC, and your application status go back to return status, you just need to come here and update your information accordingly. You you click submit, then it goes back to our department. That's why we have those companies that are on return status, because they need to firstly fix the issues, or pre-approved stage. They need to fix whatever that the administrators and advisors that they are raising, and continue with their application on the previous financial year. Okay? Now we move to the WSP forms. Okay? Under WSP forms, we have Form 1 until Form 13. So this is where we need to concentrate on how we submit the WSP and how we fill in the information, and how the information assist MICT SETA in terms of reporting also. Okay? Then we're going to start on Form 1, which is employer profile. I click Form 1. Currently, I have uploaded 70 employees. What I need to do, I will just delete my employees. And then again, colleagues, please be reminded, this is, and during the opening of the window, you can still update your application the way you wish to update it until we close the window. But once you have updated your information, please make sure that you print the letter again, and it gets signed, and you re-upload it back into the system. Okay? So if you check, colleagues, I have 10 employees. I wish to have more employees under my company, so I will show you how I do the employment profile to date. You see, it says to date, meaning that you are going to add, you are going to provide information that it's currently, it is active information from your company information. So you don't need to provide historical information here. So you click Add New Profile. When you click Add New Profile, I'll show you two ways to add this. There is a drop down here where you need to select the OFO major. So you select the major, where you select manager. You select also the sub-major. Maybe you can select administrative. You select the occupation, where you indicate the occupation here. Then you come to the municipality, and you can type in the municipality for quick search. City of Johannesburg Metro. Then once you have provided the top part, now you come here. So with this one, you need to indicate Africans, colored, Indians, and whites. Okay? What you need to do here, I'm going to add 2 males, African males, and 1 female. So when it comes to disability, you cannot have 4 disabilities. Then the total of the disability must come from these 3, which is 2 plus 1, it's equals to 3. So your disability must be 3 or less. Okay? So I'll put 4. Then you come again to the colored. You say you have 2 and 3, meaning that you have 5. Here at the top, you have 2 plus 1, it is 3. Here is 2 plus 3, it is 5, meaning the total, it is 8. Okay? Now, when you come here under colored, the disability must not be greater than 5, because 2 plus 3, it is 5, meaning that your disability can be anything 5 or less. Okay? So firstly, I'll just put, let's say 6. And then, so the total now we have 3 plus 1, it is 3, 2 plus 1, it is 3. And then we also have this 5 here. It means the total, it is 8. We need to add at least 1 here, 1 here, meaning that now we have 10 employees, okay? So when we have 10 employees, we also need to indicate something here. We need to indicate age group. We have 10 employees, we need to indicate age group. In terms of the age group here, you need to indicate whether you have 5 here, you have 3 here, you have 2 here, meaning it is equals to 10. But if you start to have 3 here, it is 11. The system will raise an exception. So I need to show you how it works. So here at the bottom, I'll put the correct information. 2. I'll try to save the information. It raises an exception here so that I can fix. Okay? So firstly, it raised this one, which it indicates that here we have 3, but we said we have 4 disabilities. The number of the disabilities must come from these 2 numbers of male and female. So we can have 1 or 3. I will put 1. Then here we have 5, but we said we have 6 because 2 plus 3 is equals to 5, but we said disability is 6, which is wrong. We need to have anything that is 5 or less than 5. I'll put 0. Then here we have nothing, okay? So I fixed the top part, but I did not fix here at the bottom. So I'll try and save. Still, it raises an exception, meaning that if you calculate the total number of the employees here, we have 3 at the top, we have 5 here, meaning it's 8, we have 9, we have 10. So when it comes to here, age group, we said we have 3, we said we have 5, 3, 3, meaning it's equals to 11. The system won't take that information when you click save. It raises an exception, so you need to make it correct here and say 2. Then now the information is correct. When I click save, the system allows the information. Okay? If you can check, now we have 20 employees, but it is not 50 plus. So if we have employees that are less than 50, we don't need a training committee to be added here. So, but if we have 50 plus employees, then we need to have a training committee. So I'll add my employees to be 50 plus or 50 so that we can have the training committee option. Currently I have a total of 20. Before I can show you the part of the training committee, let's check the bulk upload, how it works. In terms of the bulk upload, you download a template here of a bulk upload. Sorry, it's where you upload, you download the template here. Download. Then let me just rename it Form 1, Cape Town. Click save. So because this is my form number 1, okay? I open the bulk upload spreadsheet. This is our spreadsheet. How you provide the information here on the spreadsheet is the same way you provide the information on the system. So, colleagues, you are not allowed to copy and paste information on the spreadsheet. Once you start to copy and paste the information, sometimes it's no longer compatible with our system, and it will raise issues. You will log calls and say the system does not allow your spreadsheet. Okay? You need to select here on the drop downs the same information that you select on the system. Once you select, let's say, professional, on the second column, it gives you the information that is related to what you have selected previously. So you need to also select here. Then the third column also, it checks what you have selected previously so that it gives you the correct information here. Then once you get the correct information, you also indicate pathologist. Automatically, once you select, it gives you the OFO code. Okay? Then it comes to municipality. You have a drop down under municipality. We know that this drop down is very long. What you need to do, you can start to type your municipality. Once you start to type, it auto-search the municipality. Then you can select your municipality. Once you have selected your municipality, now we come to the same information of African male, females, and disabilities. You also need to use the same logic that we have used on the system. Okay? So if you have 2 African males, you can say 2, 1 female, you can say 1, and automatically the spreadsheet is calculating number of males and females here. If you have a disability, under here you can say 1 disability. Once you say 4 or 5, because here we have total of 3, then it will raise an exception. It will upload your spreadsheet, but you need to go to the report to be able to see that row number 1 or row number 10 of your spreadsheet was not loaded because of these exceptions. Okay? Then you move to colored and Indians and whites. You use the same strategy. So if you can check, we have 2 African males, 1 African female, automatic, and 1 disability. It starts to calculate for you this side. Let's add Indians here. I can say I have 1 male and 2 females. Automatically, it calculates here. Now we have 3 males and 3 females. We don't have a disability under Indians, but we can add a disability and say 2 disabilities, and now we have 3 here. So the same way you calculate, how you calculate when you're entering the information on the system, you can do the same thing here. You also indicate in terms of age group and skills. So you'll indicate junior, intermediate, and senior. So when you are indicating these, colleagues, make sure that in terms of age group, you look at the total number of males and females so that you are able to know that, okay, the total number of males and females is 3 plus 3 is equals to 6. Then when it comes to age group, it means you can enter 2, 2, 2. It's equals to 6. But once you start to enter 3 here, and then 2, 2, it is no longer equal to 6. the system will raise an exception after you have uploaded your template, okay? Also, you use the same strategy when it goes to the skills. You need to add 2, 2, and 2. I know that sometimes it might not be 2, 2, and find out here you have 4 in terms of skills, and then here you have 2, or you must have 1, 1, because of the total number must be 6 here. So then you upload your spreadsheet. So you'll fill in all these rows, then you upload your spreadsheet. Once you have uploaded your spreadsheet, there will be a button where you need to view the spreadsheet report here. And that spreadsheet report will indicate in terms of which row you have entered the wrong information. Then you go and update that information according to the report of the spreadsheet. And after you have done updating the spreadsheet, before you can re-upload the spreadsheet, you need to click delete all. Why do you delete all? It's because of currently the information that we are entering here, we just indicate number of males and females. We are not indicating in terms of IDs. So if it was IDs, we were going to make sure that the system will tell you that, okay, this ID it is already added, so you don't need to add it. But if you are continuing upload the same report multiple times, it is going to duplicate the information. So you need to click delete all. Then after you have deleted all, upload your spreadsheet. Then the system will tell you that the spreadsheet will be processed in the background. Then you need to wait for that report. So colleagues, if you have less than 50 employees, I will advise you to load the information straight on the system, because once you use the bulk upload, remember you must wait for the report and fix the queries. But if you have more employees, 100 employees, 200, 300 employees, then you need to use the spreadsheet. And also on the spreadsheet, colleagues, you saw it, we have a video here where it shows you how to convert the spreadsheet to CSV. But also we allowed the spreadsheet to be loaded the way it is. The difference between a CSV and an Excel file is that with a CSV, it is quick to process on the system, but with the Excel file, it delays when it comes to processing. So you can choose anyway which one you want to upload, then it will process and give you the report on the later stage. Okay? Then we move to, what is it? We now want to add our employees to be 50 here, or more than 50, so that we can have the committee. Okay? In terms of that, I'll just add new employment profile so that we can have the employment committee here, so that you can see how we add the committee. Okay? I will select major, you can say professional, and select sub-major, which is teaching professional, and occupation, university lecture, then also indicate my municipality, which is City of Cape Town. Then now I use the same strategy that I've used previously. I'll enter colors, which is 2 female, enter whites, which is 3, 1. Okay, meaning that the total here it's equals to 4, here it is equals to 4 again, which the total is 8, but I want to add more so that we can be able to see the training committee. I'll add 1 here. Now the total, if you can check, it is 3, this side, 3 plus 3 is 6, this side plus 4, that means we have total of 10. Let me just grow my number so that we can have 50. I'll just grow my number like this. I can say 20, then it means the total is 30, and then I can say we also have 20 here, then it means, let me say 25. It means we have 55, okay? 10 at the below, and then we have 45 at the top. So we have 55. How do I divide my age group? This is how I divide my age group. I say I can have 30 here, have 20 here. Now I have 5 here. It is equals to 55. Then under junior, I can say juniors, I have 30 again. And then intermediate, I can have 20. Seniors, I have 5, which is 55. Then I click save. Now I have 75 employees, okay? The training committee option, it is here. Now when I go to training committee, I will add my training committee. Let me just delete these ones, which I have. So under training committee, we also have a note here where an SDF cannot be part of the training committee. So meaning that you can add your training committee as an SDF, but an SDF cannot be part of the training committee. Okay? Now you start entering the information. You put the initial, you put the name, last name. You select the type of ID. I will select passport so that I avoid to South African ID validation. Then I also select the representative here, whether it's an employee representative or employer representative or union, okay? I select employee representative, I select the designation of the employee representative, I click save. Then that's the first person. Under my training committee, I need to add the second one. I do the same thing. I indicate the role, employer representative, indicate the designation of the employer representative, click save. Now I need to add the third one. Passport, and also trade union, the designation, then click save. Now I have my training committee here. So after providing my training committee, I go down to form number 2. Under form number 2, I need to indicate the WSP budget and PTP budget. After you indicated this information, you click save. And then you go to scarce skills, another form, which is a scarce skills form. Under scarce skills, let me just delete some of my data here. And leave it empty. So under scarce skills, also we indicate the nodes here at the top. So you need to firstly check the nodes at the top, then you add your scarce skills, okay? It is here under scan skills, if you check, we don't have a bulk upload. So what you need to do, you just come here and add the information. Okay? The same way you did on the other side. Clerk, OFO. Interventions, you need to indicate whether it's a bursary or short program or university placement. I'll select bursary. Other interventions, then I'll just put test. Is it NQF aligned? You can say yes or no. If you say yes, then you need to indicate the NQF level, which I indicate NQF level 8. And then you come here on structural source of scarcity, and then you indicate the level here. Okay. Replacement demand, and then you also specify the reason for the scarcity, and then you select the reason from these ones that we have. Okay. But if you have other reasons, colleagues, to assist our research team, you can also raise those reasons so that we can add them on the system so that we assist our internal research team here. Okay? And also we come to this extent of shortage. You need to also indicate whether it's long-term, medium-term, short-term. And then you also indicate if you are planning to recruit outside of the Republic. When you say yes, you need to indicate the number. When you say no, you don't need to indicate anything. Okay? You click save. That's how you add scarce skills. You go to critical skills. Also, you do the same. We don't have a bulk upload here. We only use the system to enter the information. Okay? I'll just do the same thing. I'll continue doing the same thing. Selecting professional, teaching, university lecture, for code lecture, intervention, bursary. Other interventions, I'll just click my test. Critical skill, you indicate here. NQF aligned, yes or no. You indicate whether it's yes or no. And then you indicate the NQF level. And then you indicate the extent of the shortage. Then whether it's a long-term, medium, or short-term. Reasons, also you provide the reason here. Lack of skilled people, you click save. That's how you enter the critical skills. So, colleagues, if you check here, form number 3 and 4, you enter the information the same way, and form number 1, it goes with other forms like 6. So let me just go to this one, form number 5. Under form number 5, you need to indicate the total payroll, and you will indicate the total payroll here. You click save of all the employees, and you go to form number 6, which is a planned training. Under planned training, now form number 6, you are going to use the same style or idea or methodology that we have used in the previous form, which is form number 1. You can download a template, or you can use this button to enter the information straight into the system. Okay? Under bulk upload, we still have a video to show you that how you turn your file into a CSV. And also, after you have uploaded, you will find a report button here where you click to view the report of your spreadsheet. But if you are using the system, you just click here, you use the same method, you select you indicate the sub-major, legal, you indicate under legal, municipality, you also select your municipality, but you can search also, economic status, employed or unemployed, type of a program, short program, or graduate, and also program name. Now you start to enter that information which I told you to enter. Okay. Then you click save. Then the information it is in. Okay. Then you move to other forms, which is form number 7. You also have bulk upload, and also you can use the system to enter the information. So if you check, colleagues, form number 7 and form number 6, is the same. The way you enter the information is the same way you do it on form number 1. Okay. Now you go to form number 8, which, if you can see, it's also the same way, but it's under actual training. So with this one, colleagues, you can see it says not compulsory for first-time submission, meaning that if you are a first-time submitter, then it is not compulsory. But I need to indicate something here. You may be the first time in terms of the SDF. This is your first time submitting for that specific company. It does not mean that the company is the first time submitter of the WSP. It means you are SDF, meaning that the system will check if the company has submitted this information for WSP historically. Then if the company did not submit, it won't be compulsory. But if the company has submitted in the previous financial year, this is a compulsory. Okay? And don't get stressed on how can you check the information of the previous submission. Because of you are already linked to that company as an SDF, you will be able to see the historical information. Also, when you go down under this report, which is a variance report, you will find information under variance report because it will give the information of the previous financial year comparing to the current. Okay? So when it comes to this one, the system automatically checks if the company has submitted. So if the company has submitted, you need to provide the information of form number 8. But if the company has never submitted, then it's not compulsory for the first time submitters here. Form number 8, 9, 10, 11. It is not compulsory for first time submission. Okay? And if you check all these forms, they use bulk upload. And to assist you, when you download these bulk upload forms, please rename them according to the form number or the name of the form, so that when you provide, when it is time for you to upload this for templates back into the system, you know that you don't take employment profile and upload it on actual training if you rename them accordingly. Okay, so when you download it, when you click download, please rename it according to the form, so that after when you're done providing the information on the template, it is easy for you to upload the template back into the system. Now we are going to jump form number 8, 9, 10, 11 because they use bulk upload, and I've showed you how we enter the information on the bulk upload from form number 1. We are jumping to form number 12. Okay, under form number 12, this is our survey. You need to also answer this survey for our research team. So with this one, it is required. You can't jump this stage and submit your application. It is required. You need to answer this survey. The questions for survey, they may change. So if this year we are asking these questions, maybe next year we can change based on our research. Okay? Then we go to impact assessment. Also under impact assessment, you need to answer this assessment where it indicates some of the questions where you need to select yes or no. And then where you need to just type in the information, you will type the information and click Save button at the end. Okay? Now we move to the submission. Let's take it as if you have completed all the forms. Completed form, it will have a tick. If you have jumped something, it will have this sign with an arrow here. Then you go to attachments. Under attachments, firstly, what you need to do, you need to print authorization form here. You will print the authorization form, which it will take all the information of your application, put it on a PDF, then it needs to be signed. If you can see here, we have our authorizer, we have our SDF, we have our employer representative, and also employee representatives. All of those guys, they are here. So what you need to do when it comes to this one, if you are going to update the information here, it means you must reprint this authorization form. Once you go back and update the information, you must reprint the new authorization form. Then, after loading the authorization form, a signed authorization form, you load the BEE, you also load training committee or employment equity committee minutes. These are the documents that we need still. And then again, please remember that we don't have a delete button here. We only have, you can replace by re-uploading your document. It will override the previous one. Then when it comes to proof of training committee, these are the documents that we are looking for. We are looking for a financial statement indicating the cost of training, a signed attendance register by the trainees, certificate of completion, or training fact file or transcript. Yeah? And we only accept up to 5 attachments. Let me delete one. Then you can see the system gives me another option to upload up another file. But if you have 2, the system will allow you to submit. Okay? So it goes with the evidence that you have. Then if you have only 2, you can put 2 and continue to submit your application. But remember that we only take up to 10 megabytes files. So you can combine your evidence in one, but as long as it does not jump 10 megabytes, and then you come and upload here. And then if you wish to upload another evidence, you come here and add. Again, you click, sorry, I just clicked a wrong button. You come and click add proof of training, you indicate the type of a document, you upload it here. Okay? Then you are done. Once you have uploaded all the documents, here is where we indicate the summary in terms of employment profile. So the summary here, you can see the total number of employees, whether it's a male, female, disabilities, and the total number here. And then also we have a summary of planned and all PTP, ATR, if all this information was provided here, all this on the forms, it's going to give us a summary here. Then here is where you check what you have already completed. Then if you have completed everything, the submit button will allow you to click to submit, okay? So colleagues, this is how we submit a WSP application. I think we have come to the end of the presentation. We can take questions. Any questions?
Hi there. Hi, my name is Sonia. I just want to ask a question in terms of the proof of training. I see that there are 5 different categories or 5 attachments that one can attach. Just to confirm, in terms of those pointers there, does one need to upload a certificate for every training intervention, or is it just one sample of a, let's say, a training register or a training fact file?
Business. I think administrators and advisors can answer that one.
You can provide a sample, let's say. Okay, you can just provide a sample, let's say 10% of training interventions that you have reported.
Okay, so just a 10% sample, not for every training intervention. Thank you.
Any other questions? There is a hand.
I just wanted to find out, in terms of the first form, number 1, for the employer, is it based on where the employer is situated or where employees work? So, I mean, you might have an organization that has a head office, but they're separated in different provinces. So, oh, there we go. So if I have employees in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, based on each major, do I have to do one per municipality then where they're situated?
Business will tell in terms of how they need their data.
Thanks for the question. So it would depend where you have to report based on where they are employed. For example, if they are based in Cape Town, their employment profile is in Cape Town, then it will be Cape Town. And if they are recorded on the employment profile for Durban, then they'll be in Durban, where their offices are based. So that's how you'll add information for the municipality. Are you answered, sir?
Yes, thanks. Appreciate it.
Hi.
I believe we have answered almost all those questions that they did have during the SDF registration. So when we demo the WSP application, then we answered most of the questions. We can check online. Do we have hands online? Okay, thank you, colleagues. From my side, back to you, the speaker.
Okay, colleagues, I think this brings us to the end of our session. Again, thank you very much for participating and attending our session. I hope that you are able to get some valuable insights and information from the session. And thank you, Tim, for the demonstration. And thank you to everyone that participated online and the MICT team as well. Just by way of closing, I just wanted to remind everyone that Utia mentioned a bit earlier on that we do have some active queries for the 24-25 WSP ATR submissions. So if you know that your submission or application has not been approved, just please go on the system to just double check. But we are also sending letters to those people that still have active queries. I think we had about 58 last week. So yeah, we're sending a final letter reminding you to please submit. We're giving everyone until the 14th of March to submit, and we need to make sure that those 24-25 WSP ATR applications are evaluated and sorted by the 31st of March. And then with regards to the parking, if you parked at the Felix opposite this building, I think Tim has the tickets on your table. Oh, Tia has the parking tickets if you need to get a new parking ticket. Thank you very much for the session. I therefore declare this closed. Yes, thanks. Oh, lunch. There's lunch being served. I just need to double check where it's being served. Tebogo, do you know where lunch is being served? Downstairs on the ground floor. Okay, lunch is being served on the ground floor downstairs. I think it's close to the reception area. Thank you very much, colleagues.